Alabama, and if I could do it all again, I still would because they have a good defense. But 99 plays on the field, yeah, you get tuckered out pretty fast.
And I picked Clemson myself to win that game, and some people went against me and said other. They picked Alabama, but I picked Clemson because I just figured that they had the ability to beat Alabama, and they showed why, and they methodically beat them down the field when they needed to the best.
Well, for me, I was listening to I don't know, the fans and the audience, and I thought at the last minute that maybe Clemson could upset, but originally I had thought that Alabama had it in the bag. I'm not surprised, but I'm glad that it was competitive and not just, a blowout.
I still think that Clemson got off easy with that Ohio State 31-0 shutout because Michigan wanted it too much, and I think Jim Harbaugh he knew that. But I mean, like that's another story for another day, I guess. This is college football, but we're here today. We're talking about the divisional round and the conference champion. We're going to go ahead and select a conference champion in this episode of Roundtable for the mini series of NFL playoffs. We were all 3-1 in our records for predictions last week for wild card round. You guys picked Oakland and were wrong.
Yeah,
that's the one you were wrong on. And then I'll call it out. I was wrong for Miami because, but again, just like I was talking about with Alabama, I'm gonna back the defense. I'm okay with being wrong. Miami has a defense, and I know that this offseason they're gonna build on that. And it's my hope that they try to draft like a corner, a safety, or somebody build on that.
Right.
That's what I would want to see.
They need to. I think that the quarterback for them, when you have someone who is inexperienced, they really don't know. There's the jitters. He's nervous, and when you play in that kind of environment, it's difficult when you come in. This is, you're thrown literally into the fire and told to go out and perform on
But
big stages.
Oakland is just not a clutch team for me. I just don't look at them and take them seriously in that fashion. I know that you guys did, and sure, I told you so, but you can flip it and throw it in my face for Miami. That's fine. But with the NFC, it's interesting because we all said the same thing about Seattle, but some of us felt that Detroit actually should have had a chance, when in reality they never did, because like we were saying last week, Matthew Stafford has every weapon he needs on offense. They should not think about building anything on that offense for a second. You have everything you need.
So you would think about maybe defense for them would maybe help out, and if so,
I would say help out Ziggy Ansah. Help him out.
Yeah.
Get another defensive end, get a linebacker, get somebody, load the box with a good defensive back.
Yeah, you need. They definitely need help in the defensive areas. They do. A corner could help them. Maybe somebody
to relieve Darius Slay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and then here's the thing. I knew from the very beginning it was going to be a blowout. I said we all knew. I said 38-14. It was 26-6.
No.
Yes.
I have to chime in. I have to chime in.
Of course you do.
Because that game, if you watched it, was scoreless after one quarter. After the half, it was 10-3, and it took Seattle first and goal. They had to go to fourth and goal. And it took a pass interference / personal foul penalty for Richardson to reach around the defense while holding the face mask and catch the pass, and the refs just looked the other way to even get to 10-3. Mm-hmm. And then it continued to be 10-3 throughout the whole third quarter. So any little play could have had Detroit in that game.
You know what's interesting about all this? Detroit still couldn't produce, and yet Seattle ended up producing.
This is true, but any other team
Wins and losses.
Any other team.
Wins. We talk facts on round table.
Yeah, the fact is that was a close game. It was not a blowout.
I never predicted that Detroit had a chance in hell of taking. I mean, I did.
You were nervous.
No, I was not
10-3
nervous.
going into the fourth. You weren't a
Who
little bit
has
nervous.
Matthew Stafford beat that has made the playoffs? Just answer that for me.
It's not about Matthew Stafford. Who has Russell Wilson thrown 30 points against?
Super Bowl quarterback Russell Wilson.
Not this Wilson. Not this.
Super Bowl
not
quarterback
this season.
Russell Wilson.
He can't even. He
He
struggles.
still wears the ring, by the way.
He struggles to put 10 and 20 points on the board. This is
They're
this
not the
season.
It's not his fault they
This
don't have a
season-
receiver out there.
And they don't have a run game to make defenses stay honest.
They had run game.
No, they don't.
They did.
No, they don't.
Their run
They
game
went
got
to
injured.
Christian Michael to CJ Procise, back to
Who's still
Thomas
playing.
Rawls, back to whoever else. They had a million running backs back there, and they finally had Thomas Rawls take over that game, which really won the game for them against Detroit.
Well, at the end of the
They
day,
wore 'em
the
down.
run
So
the
do
run
you
game
think-
is all they needed because Javon Curse and Doug Baldwin have matured to where they can be clutch when they need to
And
be.
if
And
they
you see
weren't-
it in the stats.
The clutch
you see
guy.
it in the stats.
No, not that game. That game.
In this game
Richardson.
especially, I saw it.
Richardson.
Okay, Richardson, who'd been injured for a couple of seasons, and yeah, he was nameless for a while. But at the same time, Doug Baldwin, Javon Curse,
That was
Jermaine
after it was
Kearse,
already decided.
even Jimmy Graham, they
That's
were
after-
instrumental. They were instrumental in pushing him in that direction.
But
They-
even
you don't just
Jimmy
get to
Graham
you don't
hasn't
just get
played
to
up
26
to-
Thomas
points.
Rawls wore that defense down. If Russell Wilson didn't have Thomas Rawls running like
It would
that,
be tough
it
'cause
would
you
have
gotta
10-3
have a
would have
run
turned
game.
into, Detroit coming up in the fourth quarter. Like Matthew Stafford has come back in a lot of games this year.
I don't want to ever have to make a case for a team that I didn't believe had the chance to win. I knew it was going to be a blowout. I knew it.
Well, we knew that Miami was going to get blown out, but you made a case for them last week.
Wait a minute.
Yes,
wait
you
a
did.
minute.
You did.
Rewind.
You-
Okay,
you made a case for
okay.
them.
So okay, we're not finished. We're not finished with wrapping up on the wild card round, but since you want to go back to the AFC,
Let's see.
Miami's defense actually did put up a fight.
They did.
They put up a fight
tried.
in that first half.
But-
I'm not saying that they did enough. I know they just needed more from a quarterback.
Right.
But
It
more from
wasn't
an
their
offense.
fault. I don't put that loss on Miami's defense. I don't.
No,
Right, and
'cause the
and
quarterback
so
wasn't
and so,
100%.
but to compare that, that's an insult to Miami. Their defense is actually getting disciplined. That offense is everything that Detroit could ever ask for, and they do nothing with it every season. They go all the way to the edge,
Right.
and they choke.
They do. And that's why I'm not a Detroit fan. I wanted Detroit as a Cowboys fan. That's the only reason. Because they were the weakest team of all of them. I mean, they
Well,
are.
I mean,
Right.
the thing is, they lost and they in blowout fashion, and we were right, Ashton. I didn't get your opinion on it though. What did you think of it?
My opinion about Matthew Stafford.
Your opinion about the Seahawks versus Detroit Lions playoff game?
I think that I think that it wasn't a blowout, first of all, and I think that
Thank you.
the Seahawks, they got out of there by the hair of their chin. I'm serious.
With a 26-6 victory.
That's at the very end, though.
But
Yeah,
you
but
have
that
to
was a
play
trash-
4 quarters.
but I would say
I don't
it was a
understand.
garbage-
I don't get this.
That was basically garbage
it's,
time,
It's
yeah.
like, okay, so let's turn the game off after the first half because Seattle
No.
clearly won the game then.
All the
But-
other games were blowouts by halftime. This was not a blowout by halftime.
It didn't have to be. Detroit did what they always do in the fourth quarter. These guys don't
That's
have
not true this season. They've been the best comeback team this season. in the
against
fourth
who?
quarter.
Against who?
Against whoever was on their schedule.
Who was on their schedule that made a difference?
Whoever was on their schedule.
There was not anybody on their schedule that they beat in a clutch win that made a difference in getting them to the playoffs.
Yes, it really did.
Beating Drew Brees in the Superdome did nothing for the NFC
Every
South.
win counts. There's only 16 of
You
them.
okay, but you
It
say
only
that.
takes
but,
nine
but,
to
but,
get in.
every
but you say that, and yet you know that there's no defense you can have for a team that couldn't get in the end zone once.
You know they had a
Obviously,
streak.
Seattle found a way to make it happen
They're
at home.
They
found
they're at
a way
home.
to-
They
yeah.
better. You're at home. You better make it happen. You're
But-
at home, Seattle.
Shall I say one and
Man.
done?
You don't deserve.
Wow.
But see, that's the thing. We talked about it last week. the playoff round is a whole different league.
It is.
You don't get to just
And they showed
make the
me that they
excuses.
weren't good in
you
the
don't
first
get to just
game.
make the same excuses that they beat sorry teams in clutch wins.
They beat Detroit.
So-
That's
so-
nothing to brag about.
Well, but they made the playoffs though. They can only play
Still.
who's on their schedule, right?
But look how they beat them with a close game that turned into a blowout at the very end.
So ultimately-
Trash time.
Ul-
Yes,
ul-
trash
ultimately,
time.
all we're saying is Detroit
After
is not
Detroit
good
gave
enough to
up.
make it this far.
They were the least of the whole wild card round, and you.
I
know
would
it.
Detroit.
Of course, I knew. I called
So
the blowout.
Seattle,
If you
they
recall,
Seattle pulled a very good team out of the hat.
Man, because
so
Seattle is, they're not the team of old either.
Thank
So-
you.
see, well, okay, but they won their division.
They did.
Barely.
They knocked off a wild card team.
So they go.
Now,
and,
sorry,
and now
wild card team.
now they have more play. It's in the stat. Here's the thing. Seattle has what it takes, even like, and they've
showed you what it takes in that game.
We've already they made the playoffs.
No, in
they
that
lost
game.
the home field advantage
But
in this
in
game.
that game,
In-
they showed you
they-
what they need to win the
that-
Super Bowl.
They
No.
they showed me that when it all matters, you can only play who's on your schedule.
Right.
They showed me that all that matters
that's
is
it.
that defense will stand together at all costs to make sure the win happens.
against the
Even
Detroit.
without when they.
You only can play who's on your schedule, right?
They don't have Detroit
But
next
what
week.
about-
Okay, that's fine.
What about with them not having their best defensive player?
Thank you.
So
The
that's a
safety.
big. Yeah, he's out. And they don't know when
Earl Thomas, yes. Next man up.
Yeah,
If
so-
you notice, that didn't stop anything in Seattle.
I saw Matthew Stafford move the ball through
And
the
yet-
20 to 20.
And you
I
know
didn't
what's
see
interesting?
the Legion of Boom out there.
And you know what's interesting? They didn't score and hit the end
Right.
zone at all.
That's true, but I didn't see no pick sixes. I didn't see a bunch of pass defense. I saw a bend but don't break defense. I didn't see a dominant Seattle defense.
And yet, Detroit didn't score one
Because
touchdown.
they are awful.
It was all
Right.
field goals.
They-
2 field goals is all they could get against
With-
this mediocre
with their quarterback.
playoff team that has a broken
Did you
defense,
not exactly?
right?
Well,
But did
I
you see
mean,
his broken hand? They had to
there
get
was-
out a surgical picture of a skeleton to show you that his hand is messed up, and he's still able to hang in there against Seattle.
Not my problem.
He hung in there.
Seattle Seahawks 26-6.
We
Packers
need
against
to
the
jump into
Giants.
that.
Packers against the
Oh,
Giants.
wow.
I call 21-10, and yet you know what's interesting? NFC was
But
all
the Giants,
blowouts.
they went on a dang on
Blowouts.
But it wasn't a blowout at first either. If you look
Here we
at
go.
But if
Here
you,
we go. We can only play who's on our schedule.
Did you not watch the game?
Did you not hear the prediction we spoke about
The
last week?
prediction. But if you looked at the first half of that game, the Giants dominated in every category. They just got into the red zone and the Yacht Club and Odell Beckham
they just
had fumble
Odell, he
hands
dropped
and drop,
balls and
drop
things
touchdowns.
like that. You can't
Sterling
do that. You
Shepard.
can't drop balls.
Drop touchdown.
Wide
Odell
open,
Beckham.
wide open. and
That
drop
could have
balls.
easily
You
been
can't have
14-0. And if that's 14-0, it's a ball game in the second half.
It's like we want to live in hypotheticals
That-
because it just doesn't make
You
sense.
saw how it played out.
Aaron, what did I say last week? Aaron Rodgers is going to break that defense apart
No.
and expose it for what it is.
Aaron Rodgers
38
looked
to
confused.
13.
He
You telling
looked
you what are you
confused.
what are you telling me there,
That's-
Ashton? What are you
Again,
telling me?
Thank you. Please explain it to him. He's not
No,
understanding.
but I want to know 38 to 13. What did that defense do that showed you that they had a chance?
They got exhausted. I mean, I can say
Thank
that
you.
they're out there for so many plays that they got exhausted.
Bullshit. They're a cold weather team.
But they're
Right,
not
but I'm
stay on
saying-
the field all
But
the time.
you stand on the field.
Oh,
that
so
many
so
plays.
this dominant defense is not as dominant as we thought.
Any
when you're
defense wears
exhausted.
down when your offense isn't holding on to the ball. Your receivers are dropping touchdowns and first downs.
But we all agreed when we talked
That
about
kills
New
the
York.
defense.
We all agreed when we talked about New York last week how their defense was what got them into the playoffs. We had
Yeah,
no
'cause it
worry
was-
about
yeah,
their
we-
offense.
we did say
in
that
the playoffs
because-
you have to score points. The defense
And if you
cannot
can't
score all your
score,
points.
then that's going to be.
If they're not dominant, they're not,
If
obviously.
you're kicking field goals instead of putting 7 every time, they did that twice, and that kept Green Bay in the game basically because Aaron Rodgers had nothing through the first half until he did the Hail Mary at the very end to Randall Cobb. Before that, they had nothing on offense.
The only
And that
guy
Hail
to
Mary-
score a
and that Hail
touchdown.
Mary, I would say more was I wouldn't say, I would say luck, because
Yes.
how often does that happen? That's what I'm saying. That doesn't happen very often.
The only receiver to score a touchdown was basically a no-name. King,
Who was
I
that?
know.
Yeah.
a no-name.
The only one who didn't go on the yacht.
Well, I mean, that's not our problem.
But this is
Green
the
Bay.
playoffs.
Well, I mean,
This is where you make your name.
And actually,
Richardson
absolutely.
made a name,
I
King
agree.
made a
I agree.
name.
I agree. Aaron Rodgers threw a Hail
He
Mary,
threw
that
a
we're not
ball.
allowed to even really have to. We can't criticize
We
it.
are. But
And-
how is it that Green Bay is the only team that can execute that play? This is 3 times.
Good
for
job, bruh.
This is
Good
3
job,
times.
bruh.
3
Good job,
times.
bruh.
Did you see the one in Detroit to the tight end, and he caught it? All of them going to the back of the end zone, and then
And
the
you
tight
let
end-
Last
somebody, how
year.
do you let somebody get behind you?
That
That's
was awful.
Man, that's wow.
And this has happened again. They know Aaron Rodgers does this, and they let it happen.
Well, he said it himself in the press conferences.
he was
that
gonna- so
it-
far
the
he's
hierarchy,
swept.
the
He's won
hierarchy is
every
by
game.
design. They practice this.
Yeah, they do. You
But
can tell.
the way it just it's flawless the way it
The
happens.
way it does.
It's like, good job, bro. Like
You
nothing
can't.
else.
I know. You can't say anything because you have everybody that's a hands person and a tall person back there, and they still do it.
Yeah,
That's all you
they're
can do
good.
is say
They're
congratulations.
great.
Now, I'll give Eli this credit. He's trying to play, like the low key. Look, I don't got anything to do with this. With the whole his diva receivers out on a yacht. Well, Victor Cruz and Eli Manning, the only 2 players really
That have rings.
that understand that mentality. They've won the won the Super Bowl twice and in the wild card.
So they've been there, so they
Well,
kind
not
of know.
Cruz wasn't there the first time.
Well,
Okay.
yeah.
But
That's true.
Eli Manning has won it.
Right,
Well,
twice.
and it only
Cruz
backs up my
he
point.
was there the
But
last time, though.
But it only backs up my point even more. That okay, Eli Manning has been there twice now in the wild card, and they've won it all in the wild card.
Right.
They didn't win the division.
Right.
They took care of business from start to finish
They
in the
won
playoff
3
round.
road.
Like you can't sit here and pretend that you go on vacation in Miami. Like if I have a chance to go to Miami for New Year's, I'm going. Shout out to the
Right.
Facebook
Well,
Live
if
audience.
if you're
Right.
making millions of dollars and your only goal is to get a ring with your brothers, like you don't want to be the weak link that went out and
here's
did
what
that.
I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. So Eli Manning, what he could have done more efficiently is just said that look, we're in the playoff. Y'all don't understand.
Yeah.
We got 2 rings to this franchise getting at where we're at. Where we are at
But I
right
think
now.
their players could have helped him by holding on to
the
balls
ball.
and
Thank you.
not dropping them.
I'll
Well-
believe Odell that the Miami trip had nothing to do with it. I think what it was is going
I don't.
out
I don't.
without
No,
a-
no, no. I don't believe
they
that.
were out there
No.
without no shirt. Did you see that?
I saw that.
No shirt
I saw
before
it.
pregame.
I remember.
That's
10-degree
that-
weather.
that
Yes.
was-
You
cold.
froze your bones and your hands were ice. I've been there in the military. You may have been there in the military. Everything is ice if you do that.
It's cold.
I see how they were bobbling touchdowns that they normally catch.
Well, and then like
that was the mistake right there, not the Miami trip.
Well, but
Hey.
I'm going to call the Miami trip out because the mentality that they had is where this went
mentality,
wrong.
right, you're
That's
right.
where everything went wrong. And if their Eli Manning was right there to stand in the way and say, "Look, we won the Super Bowl twice
Yeah.
in
But
the wild
Eli
card.
is not
Trust
in the
me.
game.
Trust me on this."
Let's just be
You
real.
can go to
Eli
Miami.
wasn't even invited on the trip. Let's
Okay,
just be
okay,
real.
that's fine. But to give Eli just, or not Eli, for Eli to just be that gateway to say, look, go to Miami on New Year's and have the time of your life and take the day off or whatever. But please stay with the team. Don't just abandon the team and like.
Yeah,
I don't think it was on Eli for that. I feel like that was on Victor Cruz because Victor Cruz was in the brotherhood. He's the one that was out there. That's
So
the
do you
veteran
think they
guy with a
shouldn't have- so
ring
you
out
think they
there
shouldn't have done-
flexing in
My
front of
point.
the,
My point is this.
Instagram.
My point is this. The veteran players,
should have been
they need to
Cruz.
be the ones stepping up, and they need to be the ones saying that
So
if
you
you
think
if
they
you
should
want
have
the
took that-
ring, this is how you got it.
So do you think they should have took that trip, or do you think they shouldn't have done it at all?
Personally, I can't judge.
You
I've never
judged
seen them.
Romo and Cabo though. You
well,
did,
wait a
and that
minute.
was
Wait a
on
minute.
bye
Wait a
week.
minute. Wait a minute. Wait a
This
minute. Hold
wasn't
on. Wait a
even a
minute.
bye
Wait a
week.
minute. Shout out to the Facebook Live audience.
Ooh.
I've never seen this group of guys united together. Like Ben McAdoo put together an offense, and I've not seen these group of guys
That can't score 20
You
points.
know what I mean? To do the
But-
job that they've done to get to where they've gotten. And I mean,
It takes
honestly,
work to do. It takes work to do that and to
Yes.
get to where you're at.
exactly. And the thing
To
is,
get to the
these
playoffs,
these
period,
receivers
is
work hard. Yes, these receivers want to. They want to show that they have the talent, and they've shown it. But the thing is, talent without a mission
Talent can only go so far,
is like
too.
self-destructive.
But
They should have been on a mission. They all should have been together. Celebrate, like you said, New Year's Eve together. I don't know who could have been to influence Odell and his followers and all that. They were out there flossing with rappers and stuff. I mean, how are you going to pass up an invitation like that as a young guy? It's hard. But
I don't disagree with them not passing it up. I'll just say it to them like this. I mean, are you ready to sit on the couch? Because that's what's just happened.
well, they were in the right place. They were on a yacht, so now they're gone fishing.
And now they're on vacation for a long time. It's like, because
yeah.
well, this is my deal.
Going back to Miami.
Well, yeah, and it's like if you're, you need to be studying the game. I understand
Yes.
they wanted the days off, and that was a day off, and they can do whatever you want to, because that's not my business. But it seems like they came there and they were not focused.
I'll say this just to close on them. The Giants, again, they have the weapons on offense,
Right.
and I didn't know this defense was as disciplined as it could be. Ben McAdoo put together a team,
Yes.
and the NFC. We'll talk about this in an upcoming roundtable on the
we
offseason
have
predictions.
We have
And I see it. I see the Giants being the new threat in the NFC East, but we'll come back to that. Okay, so we've talked about the wild card winners, obviously the divisional winners. Now we're in the divisional round. Seattle versus Atlanta.